Hello and welcome to Season 6, Episode 1 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and if you missed the last episode of Season 5, you may be wondering why there's an Ipswich Town logo on that starter screen. That's right, I have a new job. If you don't know how or why, go and check out the last couple of episodes of Season 5. But let's get into this episode. And if you are new to the series, I know a lot of people jump on at the start of seasons or at the changing of jobs. Welcome along. The playlists are all on my channel if you want to see how I got to Season 5. If you can't be bothered to do all that, don't worry. This is a new club. It's effectively like a new save. I'm in at Ipswich. You're going to find out what I did at the start of my time at the club, and we're going to be doing a live comm of the first game of the season, which is at home to Sheffield United at the end of this episode. So, let's see what I've been up to over the summer. So, first thing I did is, this is a regular thing. I'm signing players. It's all about bringing players in. I mentioned in the little transition episode at the end of the last season that my main job at Ipswich was to bring in some younger players. It was a very old squad, so I need to bring in younger players with championship quality or the potential to have championship quality and just try and lower the average age of the Ipswich Town squad. They finished 17th last season. They're looking for mid-table this season. So all I really need to do is freshen things up a little bit, perhaps improve in places, but mainly looking to bring that average age down and just establish ourselves as a mid-table team and then look to push on for the playoffs next year. Although if these signings go well and we get a good start to the season, I've not ruled it out for this season. But the second player who came in at the end of last episode, I signed Lasse Viggen Christensen from Fulham for 625,000, who I was really, really happy with. But the first player to come in after the new season starts on the 1st of July was Dominic Ball. He's 24 years old. He's coming from Watford, signed him for £425,000. And he's just a good championship central defender. Long-time fans of the series will know that I love to sign a defender, and this guy looks very much in the mould of the player that I want. And I also like the fact that he's a left-sided central defender as well, so it gives us that little bit of balance at the back. He's comfortable playing as a ball-playing defender, which is going to be good for the playing ball out of defence that we like to do when we're playing well. So really happy to have Dominic Ball along. I then signed Luis Alberto from Sheffield United for £600,000. I want to play a 4-2-3-1, the same as I did at not Ipswich, that's where I am now, the same as I did at Exeter. But there wasn't really a real top quality attacking midfielder at the club. So this guy very much fits the bill. He's come in for a lot of money on quite high wages, but he's a proper natural attacking playmaker, attacking midfield player. Bags of quality, technical ability is awesome, but he's also got a little bit of pace, acceleration, agility about him as well. And I think this guy's going to not only create a lot of goals, but also weigh in with scoring a few as well. So happy with that signing as well. This was an odd one. Serbia won the European Championship. I don't know if that's going to be on the cards in real life in 2020. Perhaps stick it on with the bookies now. Serbia for Euros in 2020. I then signed James Tavernier from who did I sign him from? Brentford, 650,000. He's a bit older than what I would have liked, but he's a real top quality championship fullback. He's going to come in and play at right back, although he could play anywhere across the defence or midfield really, but he's most comfortable down the right hand side as either a right back, right wing back, right midfielder. He's a good attacking fullback, exactly the kind of mould that I like in a fullback. I'm hoping he can be the new Cameron Gale for the Ipswich story. And yeah, just really happy to have this guy along as well. There were already a couple of good right backs at the club, but one of them, Billy Jones, is getting on a bit, and I don't want to rely on him. And the other guy, whose name I can't remember at the moment, is only 21, 22, might not quite be ready. So Tavernier's nice middle ground between the two, and just a really good right back, who I've had in previous versions of Football Manager in different saves, and he's never let me down. I've then signed Emyr Hughes, 26-year-old Welsh midfielder, comes in from West Brom for 450,000. This is the first player who I probably didn't need, but I wanted him just because he's younger than a lot of the other options we've got in central midfield at the moment. I'm not sure if he's automatically going to come in as a starter alongside Christensen, because we've still got Skoos in there, who looks very good, although he's 34, and we've got Andre Dazelle as well, who is a 21-year-old up-and-comer who looks like he could be very, very good, if not this season, then next season. But the thing I liked about Hughes is, if needed, he can certainly slot into that central midfield position. But most importantly, he's also natural as a defensive midfielder. So when we play the counter-attacking version of the 4-2-3-1, similar system to what we did at Exeter, he's much more comfortable than anyone else we've got at the club, apart from Skoos, at sitting in front of the back four. So just gives us that little bit of flexibility to do something a little bit different if we need to control a game, sort of let the clock run down. So just gives us something a little bit different to what we already had at the club. We then signed Thierry Ambrose from Man City, £1.1 million. I finally spent £1 million on a 23-year-old striker. This guy looks the business. He is quick, he's strong, he's a good finisher. He's not great in the air, but who cares, because he's so quick and just talented and can play as a complete forward or a false nine. Two positions I absolutely love in a lone striker. He's come in from Man City. He's spent the last couple of seasons out on loan at various clubs. I don't know if he's going to come straight into the side, because we've got some decent strikers here, and I also bring in a couple more. But this guy I would expect to be my first choice striker as the season goes on, once we can get him fit. Chris Martin has come in on a free transfer. Not really the young players we had in mind. 31-year-old striker. Came in for, I think he was at Norwich previously, so the fans are probably already going to hate him. But I just like the fact that he scored 20 goals in the Championship last season. He was available for free. He's ready now, just in case Ambrose isn't quite ready yet or needs some time to settle in. And like Ambrose, he can play as well as up front. He can also play as the advanced playmaker, or he can play as the inside forward on either wing as well. So I like to have that bit of flexibility in my forwards. So bringing in strikers who can do all of those positions means they're not going to miss out on chances just because I'm only playing with one striker and I've got quite a few good ones at the club. We then signed Stephen Davidson, came in on loan from West Ham. He's a young left-back. I did try and sign a left-back permanently, but couldn't find one as good as this guy. He's only 18 years old, but he already looks very, very good. He's only going to be coming in as my backup left-back initially, but I think it's not going to take him very long to start challenging for a first-team spot, so happy to have him. We also brought in a centre-back on loan from Southampton, Samuel Enyama. Let me know in the comments how you say that. He's not as good as the lads we've already got here, but he's 20 years old. He's coming in as cover because we didn't really have much in the way of backup at centre-back. He's another one who can play on the left side of central defence, and quite happy to have him as my fourth choice centre-back. I think he's probably as good as a lot of centre-backs playing in the Championship at the moment, so not gonna be too worried about putting this guy in the side if we need him to. Terrifyingly, he was born this century, which is disgraceful and shows how far into this save I'm getting now. He was born in May 2000, and that is mad. This happened. I tried to sign Daniel Trickett-Smith from Exeter. These negotiations went on for a couple of weeks, and they just want such a ridiculous amount of money for him. And it just got to the point where, you know what, £600,000 is a huge amount of money. I know that's a lot of money for Exeter, and if I was still Exeter manager, I would accept £600,000 for Daniel Trickett-Smith. So I think they're just being stubborn because they don't want me to sign him. He's kicking off in the media. He wants to come and play for Ipswich, as you can see from some of those stories above this one on my newsfeed there. But I'm not paying more than that for him. So unless they come back and offer him to me for less than £500,000, that's done, and I'm going to look at other options, which is a shame because I would love to have him and give him a try in the Championship because I think he's got the quality to do it, but it's not going to happen, I don't think. We did sign this guy though, Keziah Sterling, another striker, very quick, comes in from Tottenham for £750,000. Again, can play up front or on either wing or as an attacking midfielder, lightning fast, and we've got some really, really good young strikers at the club now. This guy and Ambrose, it might even lead to either one or both of them playing out on the wing with maybe Martin in the middle, or potentially changing the system to play them both up front together if they both hit the ground running. But they're both so quick, good finishers, and I think we've got some very exciting attacking players at the club now. And then I signed this guy because I wasn't allowed to get Trickett-Smith. I've brought in a backup attacking midfielder from Everton on loan, Carlinhos. He's a 19-year-old Brazilian. They signed him last summer from Palmeiras, and he's got bags of quality. he could end up pushing Luis Alberto for a starting spot as the attacking midfielder as the season goes on, but very much fits the criteria of young and loads of potential to come in and do a really good job for us. One player I haven't seemed to have taken a screenshot of that I forgot we also signed was Ricky van Wolfswinkel, another 31-year-old striker who came in from Norwich. I signed him before I realised Ambrose and Sterling were going to be options, so we've probably got one striker too many, and might need to either ship Wolfswinkel or Martin out on loan or let them go somewhere, or we might end up playing one or both of those young players out wide to accommodate the extra players we've got in the middle. So we've spent £4.6 million, but as you can see, we've actually sold £5.6 million worth of players, and the main part of that was Lucas João went to Derby for £4.6 million. He was the top striker at the club when I arrived, but didn't want to stay. He was already unhappy. Derby came in and offered £3 million. I rejected it, and he got in a huff. And so in the end, I've managed to work them up to as much as we could possibly get. And we've actually sold him for the amount of money that we've spent on bringing in, 10, 12 players who are all going to be challenging for a first team spot. So I think that's fantastic business. And I would swap João for Ambrose just as a direct swap. So the fact that I've managed to get Ambrose plus all those other players as well, I think that's some good business. And we've let some of the other players go in there as well. Names that I'm not particularly familiar with, but we've just let anyone who wasn't in my plans, we've got rid of most of them. So it's been quite a successful transfer window, really. The finances are looking even better than they were when I came in, mainly because the money that we got for João has come in all in one lump sum, and all the most of the transfer fees that we've spent are on instalments. So for the time being, we've got an extra £3 million in the bank to what we had before. We're pretty much dead on our wage budget of £350,000 a week. We've got a little bit left to spend, but not a huge amount. But I'm happy with that squad. I think that squad's going to be certainly good enough for mid-table. And if some of those youngsters are as good as I think they could be, and they hit the ground running, I don't see any reason why we couldn't push for a playoff place at the least with the squad that we've got here. That's a bit worrying. I don't know why that's happened. Because the projection before I signed all those players was looking good, and we've only signed £4 million worth of players. Yes, they're spread out over a long time. I don't know why that means we're going to go from £8 million in the black in 3 seasons' time to £24 million in the red. I think that's just a glitch. I don't expect us to be losing that kind of money. And this is what the expectation is for this season. So the board are looking for mid-table. The media are predicting 16th. My personal prediction is I think we'll finish somewhere between 10th and 14th. That's what I think we'll do. I hope we can push up for a top 6 spot and get into the playoffs. It would be a disaster for the club if we got promoted this season, because it's going to take longer than 1 year to build this into a Premier League side. But I guess a promotion means I could then jump ship and go somewhere else in the unlikely event that it happened. So let's get into today's live com match. We're at home to Sheffield United. It's my first game in the Championship. It's my first game higher than League 2 in non-League to Legend. And this is the starting 11 that I'm going for today. So I've got a lot of players, quite a big squad now, and some of the bigger names that I've just talked about aren't going to be playing today, largely because of fitness concerns. But what I'm going for is Bartosz Białkowski in goal. I haven't been able to sign a better goalkeeper, so he's going to have to make do for now. If I sign any more players, it's going to be a goalkeeper. That's the last thing I've got on my shopping list for this transfer window. Back four of James Tavernier, the new guy, Jonas Knudsen, who was at the club when I got here. Luke Chambers, who was captain for us last season. He's 34 years old now, I think. Yeah, 34 years old. It was a bit of a coin toss whether to play him or whether I would play, Enyama. The other guy who I've made my new captain, who I can't remember the name of. I need to learn these players' names. This is humiliating. What's his name? Michael Hector. I've made him the new captain, but he's injured. So he would have been starting alongside Ball at centre-back. But for now, Chambers gets to prove that even though he's 34, he's still deserving of a place in the side. Knudsen is playing as a left-back and looks like a perfectly good left-back. 27 years old, looks like he could be a very, very good player for us. Central midfield, very, very good for this level. We've got Christensen and Andre Dazelle. Dazelle, I assume this is Jason Dazelle's son, maybe, who started at Ipswich, went to Spurs years and years ago. I mean, he's 21 years old. Look at these stats for a 21-year-old. He's left-footed. He's comfortable playing as the box-to-box midfielder. Him and Christensen, I don't see how we could get a better central midfield partnership at this level. Really happy with that. Luis Alberto's going to play as the advanced playmaker in front of them. And then the wide men, I'm starting with two players who were at the club when I got here. Tommy Orr is 28 years old. He can play on either wing. We're playing him on the left today. I'm not that happy with this player purely because he's got a match highest earner clause. So when I signed Christensen, his wages shot up to match what Christensen's are as well, which I hadn't budgeted for when I brought Christensen in on quite a large wage at 24 grand a week. But he needs to be good, because if he's not worth 24 grand a week by Christmas, I'll definitely be looking to sell Tommy Orr and bringing in one of those young wide players who we've just signed to take his place. And then on the other side, we've got Jan Erik de Lanley, 28-year-old Norwegian. Again, looks like a very good player for this level. He's quick, comfortable playing as an inside forward. So those two are going to start the season for us. Then up front, I've gone for Chris Martin today, although it could just as easily have been one of those other young players that we brought in. So on the bench, we've got Joshua Emmanuel, who is the other right back, who I mentioned was at the club when I got here, the 22-year-old. Looks like he's going to be very, very good, but not quite up to Tavernier's level yet. Cole Scouse is going to be our backup central midfielder. Can also play at centre-back. He can play as a holding midfield player. He'll come on if we're in the lead with 20 minutes to go and we need to switch to the more defensive system. He's an option to come on, along with Emir Hughes, who's the other guy I'll bring on. And we'll basically bring both of them on, sit them in front of the back four, and perhaps take off Alberto and one of these guys to balance that out. Ricky Van Wolfswinkel takes one spot on the bench as a striker. Sterling gets the other today, purely because Thierry Ambrose isn't as fit as those two guys are. It's the only reason he's sat out there at the moment. We've got four really good strikers at the club. As soon as Ambrose has got a bit of match fitness, he'll come straight in, and I expect him to be the man this season, even though he's not even on the bench for the first game. Why have I got Billy Jones on the bench? Let's take him off, because Billy Jones is another right back. We don't need two right backs on the bench. And that's what we're going for today. So some decent looking players not even making it onto the bench. The left back, we signed Davidson. Luongo, he was here when I arrived, 27-year-old Australian, looks very, very good in central midfield, but it's a position we're very strong in, so it's going to take a lot for him to make it into the side, especially as we've brought in Christensen and Hughes as well. Christian Benavente is a 26-year-old attacking midfielder or winger, can play anywhere across that attacking three that we've got. He's only ever going to be a backup for me, but he's been at the club a few years now, never really done anything special, but he's going to be a useful backup to have. Probably will be letting him go at the end of the season, though I can't imagine him being anything special. Teddy Bishop is a young attacking midfielder who looks like he could be quite good. He's not there yet. Ideally looking to loan this guy out. He's come through the Ipswich youth system. Played a lot of games last season. He's not going to play a lot of games this season, so I'll be looking to loan him out for some experience. And then Carlinhos, the Everton youngster who we brought in as well, alongside Ambrose on the reserve list. So we're playing the Exeter system. It's just all copied straight across. So 4-2-3-1, on control and fluid. The team instructions that we're using, we're playing fairly wide, preventing short goalkeeper distribution, playing out defence, looking for overlap, and looking to work the ball into the box. This system worked really well for Exeter at the end of last season, but by then it was fluid. We're only competent with it at Ipswich, so I'm not expecting fireworks straight away. I would like to beat Sheffield United today. I'm not going to be too downhearted if we don't. So let's get into the match. The media have got us as favourites. That's handy. They're just playing a 4-4-2, so hopefully our midfield can just make them look silly. That would be nice. I'd like that. We'll get the assistant to do the team talks, because I've already established in previous seasons that I'm rubbish at them. And we don't need the league table on yet. First day of the season, who cares? Let's go and score 5 goals and announce my arrival in the Championship. By just looking incredible. That's what we're going for. So Luke Chambers has got the captain's armband back again today because Hector's injured. He wasn't that happy that I took it off him in the first place. He's not the vice captain either. I've given that to Cole Scouse, I think, who again isn't going to be a regular starter. The main reason I changed it is because Hector's going to play every game when he's fit, and Chambers isn't, so there's not any point in having both the captain and the vice captain as reserve players. I want a little bit of consistency over my captain. Right, we're struggling to get the ball here, which is a bit of a worry. And that was a bit of a sloppy goal to give away, really, because the goalkeepers palmed that straight out to their oncoming striker, which is unfortunate. We just seem to be second to the ball all the way through that move. We didn't deal with the cross as it's come in. We've given their player a lot of space, and that's just a poor piece of goalkeeping. He's just put that straight back onto the feet of the player who hit it at him originally, and Bielkowski's doing himself no favours at all there if he wants to remain as my first choice keeper. We've got one back though, and it's new boy Dominic Ball. Big lad up from the corner. Could even blame him for the goal we conceded, but he's gone up there and redeemed himself. He's challenged with the ball originally. Delanley puts it back across to him, and that's not a bad finish for a centre half. So we're 1-1 after 15 minutes. No reason to panic yet. This is all. I guess it's all going to plan. The first goal was sloppy, but we've had an instant reply, which at least shows we've got a little bit of spirit about us, which is nice to have. It would be nice to get another goal before half-time, though. We're doing okay for possession. Half an hour in, we're at 55% possession. We've had more shots than they've had. Both teams have had one clear-cut chance, and I think they were the goals. So it's basically a fairly even match so far. Which, for a game where we've got quite a few debuts, we're playing a new system, there's a new manager, to be 50-50 with a team like Sheffield United, I can live with that. For the first game, I think that bodes well for the future. When we've got the likes of Ambrose to still come into this side, I don't mind being evenly matched at the moment. So yeah, we want to put a performance on for the supporters. I'm pretty happy, but it would be nice to go and get a winner in this second half, which starts with winning the ball back here, I guess. But again, when the ball's knocked around, we seem to be a bit slow to get to it. I've got two very, very skillful central midfielders there, but I wonder if we perhaps are going to need to bring Scouse or Hughes in and sacrifice one of them, just so we've got a little bit of bite in midfield, because we don't really seem to be winning the ball back in midfield in the way that I would like to. In the way as someone like Marlon Pack or Owen Garvin, they both did it for me at Exeter. They were both constantly harassing the opposition and stopping things like that happening. They've gone through us like a hot knife through butter there. That's... we might have a bit of a problem because our midfielders have just let them run through. The two centre-backs are not challenging at all. There's some work that's going to need to be done defensively on this team. Hopefully, as I get used to the system, it will become less of an issue, but I can certainly see myself needing to make some tweaks to that central midfield, and I would hate to drop either of them, so it might involve a change to the whole system, maybe sacrificing one of the attacking players to stick a third player in the central midfield who's got a little bit more bite about him. Right, Martin's been useless. I'm tempted to bring on the youngster, Sterling, and just let him run at the opposition. In fact, we'll bring Wolfswinkel on as well, because Alberto's not been any good, so we'll put Sterling behind... no, we'll put Wolfswinkel behind Sterling, I guess. Yeah, we'll do it that way round. I'm not particularly happy with either of them playing deeper. I'd want them both out wide, really, but could Delanley come in? Does that work? And then perhaps put Sterling out there. That works a little bit better. I think we'll do that one. So hopefully Sterling can come on, use his pace, and do something awesome. If not, Van Wolfswinkel can show why he should be starting ahead of Chris Martin. Or finds Knudsen, who finds Ball again. And Dominic Ball has got his second goal of the game. Is he the answer? Do I need to be sticking him up front? He's already paying back a large chunk of his transfer fee. He's a top scorer. He's a good finisher. Because they're both good finishes. They're not just centre... That's not a centre-back just coming forward and whacking it with his head. They're two quite nice finishes we've had from him today. That's weird. Is there some retraining in the offing here? We've got a corner. Dazelle whips it and he's aiming at Ball. Imagine a centre-back getting a hat-trick on his debut. That would be mad. Knudsen tries to find Van Wolfswinkel but can't. And... I mean, we've played all right. We've had more clear-cut chances than they've had, which is my way of measuring how well we're doing. I'm not that concerned with results at this stage. I just want us to be playing well. And I think we're certainly playing well. It would be a shame if we then conceded a goal and lost this game. Which is exactly what's happened. And again, I mean, that's Christensen who stood on him, and just he isn't getting the challenge in. a midfield rethink might be in order for the next game, because no one is putting a challenge on that guy there, and that's a worry. And again, how much of it is to do with the goalkeeper as well, because they've only had 3 clear-cut chances, and 1 clear-cut chance, and they've scored 3 goals. So, how much of a different story would it be if we had a better goalkeeper? I'm going to take Christensen off, and actually I'm not going to bring Scoots on. I'm going to bring Hughes on, just because he's my man. And yeah, we'll play him there. I imagine that's too little too late, but it might just stop them dancing through the midfield quite so easily as they have been. We should probably go attacking as well. We need to at least get an equaliser in this game. It's going to be a real shame to lose the first game of the season like this, because I am really happy with the squad that I've put together, and I don't want a disappointing start. But it looks like we're going to get one. Let's take off, work ball into the box. We just want to get some shots now. Oh, let's go overload. Just score a goal. Come on. It's not going to happen though. We're not even getting a highlight. As usual, I switch to attacking or overload and we don't even get another highlight. This is just going to be the full-time whistle. I assume. Yeah, there it is. So we've lost the first game of the season. But I think we played okay. I think there were positives to take out of that. We had more clear-cut chances than they did. We had more possession than they did. There's a couple of areas that we need to work on. The goalkeeper has been highlighted in that game as an issue. The midfield might need a bit more bite. And we need to be a bit more effective up front, I guess, because we've not... both goals have come from a centre-back. But other than that, I'm not panicking yet. If you enjoyed that episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me. I love it when we get a new episode in a season up there above 50 likes. So if we could get this up to 50 likes, that would be fantastic. It's a great way to get new people into the new season with the new club. So if you could pop a like on there for me, that would be much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel as well. We're very, very close to 1,000 subscribers now, which is mad when you think that the channel's only been up and running since mid-October. So if we get to 1,000 subscribers, that would be awesome as well. And thanks very much for watching.